Hi everyone, my name is Amy Reyes and I'm going to be doing my informative speech. The topic I chose was how screen time affects children and teens. When we exist in a society where screens are everywhere. For example, the phone, the television, tablets, computers, and this new generation, the screen is not just a part of their everyday life, it is their everyday life. And nowadays we can't seem to live without our phones, and this is affecting our everyday life, and especially the teenagers and the children. Too much screen time will affect children and teenagers by disturbing their physical health, mental well-being, and their intellectual development. My first point was screen time is affecting physical health. For example, these devices they contain a blue light which reduces the melatonin secretion, and this makes it difficult for one to fall asleep. Not only that, but it is also causing to interrupt the body's regular sleep-wake cycle. Before going to bed, if children and teenagers watch TV, or are they being in social media, or whether it's playing video games, this is gonna make it difficult for them to go back into sleep mode. And why is this? It's because it's causing thought-provoking, creating new ideas in their heads, and in order to be able to fall asleep, we need to be relaxed, and we shouldn't be curious about anything or thinking about anything. And this screen time is causing adrenaline, which is preventing relaxation. And when sleep is disrupted from children and teenagers, they usually wake up moody or become moody, and it's going to affect their education and their emotions. And as the American Academy of Pediatrics, which is one of my sites, was that they stated that if we spend more than 2 hours a day with screen time, we're more likely to become obese, because we're usually like sitting down and eating and for hours. And also children and teenagers who use screen time for a long period of time, it can affect their eyes. For example, they can have blurry eye vision, or it can cause dry eyes. For example, in this image you can see that the screen time causes the eye to get like this, and it's causing blurry vision. My second point was how it affects the mental well-being. Screen time, it doesn't only affect our physical health, not only like having trouble with vision or having headaches, becoming obese, it also affects our mental well-being. When we're not allowed to use the phones, I feel like these devices in children and teenagers, they show anger when the devices are taken away. And we're so addicted to these devices that when we don't have them, we feel like we can live in the world without them. For example, I have this image where the phone is being taken away from the kid, and he is crying about it. And also I feel it's because parents allow this, and they just want to be left alone and want the children to not be crying, so they just let them have the phone, the tablet, whatever it is. And when it's time to take them away, or when they get granted, obviously they're gonna be upset about it, because they've been so much time in the phone. When one spends a long period of time playing video games, watching videos on TikTok or YouTube, it can position children and teenagers to have a difficult time concentrating in school or work. And instead of being on social media, we can either do homework or read a book, something that's gonna help our learning develop even more. And there's also a lot of cyberbullying and inappropriate things that parents don't know that are going on in their children's phones, and it's gonna cause these children to like have anxiety, have changes of mood and emotional well-being. And I feel like parents need to be more aware of that, because that's gonna cause their children to act up this way. And my last point was that it affects our social and intellectual development. The time a children spends on a device can impact how they socialize with human beings. For example, having face-to-face communication and interactions with other kids or people help them learn and develop emotions, and it also helps them have empathy toward other people. Back then we didn't even have devices, and the TV we had, it was only like silent movies and it was black and white. And back then the children would go out and play, and they were like curious about the world. And children and kids, I feel they were more active around that time back then, but the time used on these devices aren't managed well, and they aren't managed correctly either. And this is going to eventually lead for children to have trouble with their speech language, and it will take away experience and interactions they have with other humans. And I have another image, which is two children sitting on a park, but they choose to be on their phone. Like, they're not even interested in being in the park, they just want to be on their phone. Even though the internet can be helpful, it is addictive, and we can even avoid going one single day without it. As I researched, I came to the realization that too much screen time can harm children and teenagers, and even us adults. It messes up our physical and mental well-being as well as our learning. It's not just a matter of getting rid of these devices, it's a matter of learning how to use them properly and being able to manage them to develop our health and our learning. And we also need to have physical interactions with other humans, and we need to let the mind be curious. Thank you for listening.